Hello, my monstrosities. Hello once again. Today I bring to you an Armored Warhost. I would say review, but it's not if I'm being transparent. It's kind of a review in that I want to go over this again, but I know the answer. Because I knew the answer when I first read these rules, and the Aeldari Codex is out, people are experimenting, and this is still bad, right? And this gives me, in an odd sense, cathartic relief and also frustration. Because you look at these rules, and these are objectively bad, okay? And I don't mean in the sense of where you have Death Guard, fucking Blood Angels. Who else had a good detachment? That, Drukari, where you're just losing your shit over your Grotmus detachment because it's not the thing that you've been using and claiming that it's bad, right? Like that was bullshit. Then you have this, and where there was an absurd level of anger for people like I didn't get the Codex or Grotmus release early. I was there with you all looking at this like, damn, this is kind of fucking ass. Um, but also the flip side was the absurd levels of cope that were, oh, that's written for the codex. The codex, you gotta know they're redoing the codex, and it's gonna make the thing with that. This was just so bad that you had to rewrite that. Like, you have to rewrite this because as it currently stands now, what with what we know, you really have no reason to use this. Now, I'm going to say that and leave that in the video. I'm going to go through this now, read it, and see if my opinion changes by the end of the video. Let's all do this together. So let's take this journey. I'm coming in this with a negative bias, right? From what I last remembered, this shit was ass. Hexwarp Thrall Band. I still think it's ass, but it's a little bit more playable ass than this, I think. Um, so let's go. Armored Warhost, skilled crews is the detachment rule. Ranged weapons equipped by Aeldari vehicle models from your army have the assault ability, and you can reroll advance rolls made for Aeldari vehicle fly units from your army. So, uh, these are the vehicles. Some of them got legended further, if I remember correctly. I think only Forge World that got the stay was what, the Revenant Titans or something. I can pull this up on my phone, but I will not be putting my phone up into the video. But yeah, we're looking at, yeah, Phantom Titan, Revenant Titan, and a bunch of not these things, right? So not even the interesting things get to play anymore. I mean, you can still use legends, right? But it's not looking great. And then uh I do want to say it was Proxy Hammer, I believe, who found out before the codex release you actually could have used Yunari with this. But then they did things to Yunari that I'm hearing is both busted, but it is very restrictive. And if it's that restrictive because it's busted, I mean, I guess there's that. But looking at this, um, what vehicles do you really want to take and let alone assault, right? So, assault is a tricky one in the fact that I don't think it's overrated because it is good. It's really good. Movement wins games. But I think people forget that you need a step after it. Because if I get assault on my, I'm a Tyranids player, if you're new around here. If I get assault on, well, gargoyles have assault, right? But yeah, let's go with that, okay? Outside of their rule, why do I want that on a gun with one shot, right? If I put assault on Hive Guard, does that help me? Not really. Uh, it might get me in position a little bit better one round, but it's not necessarily the thing that I would aim to do to care that much because the gun I'm using is bad. So, the point of that being, looking at all of this, the gun I'm using is bad. Star Weavers and Wave Serpents now, they're a little bit better. Okay, they're a bit better. Crimson Hunter, jury is out. Uh, no, it's not. Sorry, I'm thinking about the other one, the Hemlock Wraith Fighter with the jury's out. Falcon is okay. Fire Prism, good. Night Spinner, bad from what I understand the elf players are saying. Support weapons, those got broken out into 3 iterations, and I don't see you wanting to do assault on those either. Void Weavers are better. Vipers and Warwalkers are okay. None of them care about assault, right? Especially when now they have the battle focus. Yeah, that's what it's called. Into which you can uh, give star engine, so it's d6 plus 1 for a vehicle or something like that on normal. And because it's a normal move, that means you can still shoot or get out. So, like, there's things with that there you're like, okay, that's good. And you can reroll advance rolls for Eldari vehicle fly units, which, fine, but again, why do I want this advance so hard? And this is the other thing that confuses me more, right? I went back and I was like, you know what? Hold on. Brood Brothers Auxilia might be okay now that the Guard have new things. And actually, it turns out, I think everybody was too hard on Brood Brothers Auxilia. I, I think we all kind of owe it an apology because I looked at it too. I was like, this has got to be turbo bad. And then we found out how to play the game with other things like Auxiliary Cadre and Final Day. So you just find out, oh, this could have been played the entire time. So there's that. But going back to Armored Warhost, into the fact that, well, my units that got changed still don't want to be here, per se, right? I have better options other places. But moving forward from skilled crews, let's go to the enhancements. Guided presence, 25 points. Eldari Psyker model only. At the start of your shooting phase, select one friendly Eldari vehicle model within 9 inches of the bearer. Until the end of the phase, each time that model makes an attack, add one to the hit roll. So, uh, the other thing that confuses me, I think I've said that a few times now, but another thing that confuses me is the fact that this was done knowing that the tokens, the fucking fate dice, were going away, right? So they obviously had a couple of things in this detachment that's like, hey, add one, reroll, do the thing. But I could still just do maybe not exactly the same thing, but better things. So I don't think side grading that because it'll go completely away in one aspect, except for don't aspect host, right? Or is it Warhost? One of them. Uh, I don't know how that translates to this set of rules being there. Because, mind you, they've written Renegade Raiders. They wrote Firestorm Assault Force. Uh, the thing they got out of hand with Sisters is, yeah, they had Assault, had bonus strength. But then you take Miracle Dice on top of that with good rules. Nothing else this edition that just relied on Assault has been that broken, right? We haven't looked at Montcalm, and if you dare say Star Shatter, I don't know what to tell you. Hey, and it was broken for all of our imaginations. Um, but yeah, and not out all of ours, but hey, there's that. So you take that, and I know you have to tone it down because elves are notorious for being broken. And here they are being toted as broken once more. But the detachment is just terrible. So it's like, why did you write this? Kind of at all, I guess. Um, but hey, it couldn't have been better than the new book because you need people to buy the new book. Harmonization Matrix. Aeldari model only in your command phase if the bearer or any transport it is embarked within is within range of an objective marker you control. Roll 1d6. On 3 up, you gain 1 CP. Alright, that's 30 points to possibly happen. Spirit Stone of Rylith, 20 points. Aeldari Psyker model only, while the bearer is within 3 inches of one or more friendly Aeldari vehicle units, the bearer has the Lone Op ability. In your command phase, you can select one friendly Aeldari vehicle model within 3 inches of the bearer. That model regains up to D3 lost wounds. 20 points, you become a Tech Marine. Any Aeldari Psyker. Uh, they split the characters or something, right? I'm trying to remember Farseer, um, or one of the motherfuckers. I know there was a Codex Errata. I should pull that up, but that'd be a waste of time for this detachment. Sorry. Trying to let's keep it neutral. See if we started off negative. Let's try to go neutral and see if we can end positive. Guileful Strategist, 15 points. Aeldari model only. If your army includes the bearer, after both players have deployed their army, select up to 3 Aeldari vehicle units from your army and redeploy them. When doing so, any other units can be placed into strategic reserves, regardless of how many units are already in strategic reserves. This is probably the only thing in this detachment that I feel is at least okay. Okay, guiding presence, but for 25 points, I don't know, man. That could have been a 20 or a 15 or 10 or 10. But yeah, this one, a little bit interesting. Enough. Interesting enough. Layered wards. Any phase just after a mortal wound is allocated to an Aeldari vehicle unit from your army. Until the end of phase, 5 up feel no pain against mortals. For one command point on an Aeldari vehicle, your vehicles are going to go pop anyway. I don't think this is saving you. Especially not 5 ups. Had it been 4 ups, there was maybe a conversation for it. Cloud Strike. Start of the reinforcement step of your movement phase. One Aeldari vehicle from your unit that can fly and is in strategic reserves. Until the end of the phase, your unit has the Deep Strike ability. When your unit is set up on the battlefield using the Deep Strike ability, it can be set up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 6 inches horizontally away from all enemy units. But if it does, until the end of the turn, it is not eligible to declare a charge. In addition, if your unit is a transport, each unit that disembarks from it this turn must be set up more than 6 inches away horizontally from all enemy units, and until the end of the turn is not eligible to declare a charge. Holy cannoli. Now, you did have to put the range on it, right? You did have to put the range on it, and let's be fair. Now that you have a reactive move that can get you back into transports, it's fair enough to say that this is better. This is indeed better because now you are deep striking a transport, but wait a minute. One of them already has deep strike, actually. Let's bring them up. I guess I actually should bring these ones up. The Falcon does have deep strike. So, I mean, hey, but now I get the ability to do it within 6 instead of 9. Whoopty, whoopty. Wave Serpent has the better capacity. So, you know what? Alright, give that deep strike. Put that sucker down. And it is worth noting everyone is fearing. Well, actually, everyone is fearing. Uh, I know a lot of Tyranid players were like, well, shit, the Fire Dragons are coming. And then I know a lot of mass infantry players were looking at, oh shit, the Dire Avengers are coming. Well, I guess more so Azerman is coming. And I know that Changear and the Howling Banshees might come. Lycus and the Warp Spiders may or may not come. So if everybody's coming, everybody's happy, right? But jokes aside, there is more play to this ability, but I don't know if that outweighs you just using again star engines to get your shit in place. How much of the units will pop out of a wave serpent um to do that, right? Like I think when I first reviewed it I said something along the lines with, yeah, I guess you could take Wraith Guard and take them out of the unit and do that, and I guess that's still possible, but the Wraith Guard, I think this is my thing, right? If you're going to do a thing about transports or vehicles, the things inside the vehicles have to be better here. They have to get more value here than just playing them without the vehicle, right? Especially when your vehicles are mainly we're looking at the transport angle. And for the current iteration of Eldari. So if a time comes along where we are going, oh yeah, sorry, also Starweaver, forgot to put that one up here. But if there's a time where it's, oh man, my fire dragons are worse than my falcon and wave serpent, then that's where this comes in handy. But if you have not one but like two or three detachments into it, or maybe two, because it's Warhost, Aspect Host, and then if you're talking about Wraithguard, so like things like that. It has to be in not a detachment into which the thing inside is just better off not being there, right? Like this has to make you have to give them advance and disembark and charge, the same way that we did the 6-inch disembark and charge for Warpbane Task Force. If you're not a Terminator unit, uh, Demonic Incursion, and not 6-inch charge, but they fix the strat in Retaliation Cat, right? So it has to be something along those lines where it has to be souped up. And mind you, it technically can be now that you have the ability to get out 6 inches away, fire on your opponent, they shoot you. If they don't get the job done, you get back in the transport. But the thing is, you're Eldar. You're squishy. If you get clapped back that, you're probably gone, right? If that's what's happening, you're probably gone anyway. So this, I think the thing for me on this detachment, also along several other things as I've probably made clear, is that you don't have the durability for the shenanigans it is asking you to pull off. You don't have the durability on your vehicles to make use of a 5-up feel no pain against mortal wounds. And I think this would have been the best thing out of the detachments if this was the durability skew. Because you nerf Wraithguard, and at first it made sense. It's like, well, you can't have Wraithguard and Wraith Blades and Wraith Lords just, well, Wraith Lords do get maneuvers, right? Right? You can't have those just backflipping and doing shenanigans and all the things, right? You know, they can't have battle focus. And then it turns out they thought about that, so they just didn't give them that and made them weaker. So at least make the transports have durability. Like this probably should have been a 4-up invuln and a 4-up feel no pain against mortals. Or maybe just a flat 5-up feel no pain. Maybe just the flat 5-up feel no pain. Will that save a night spinner? No, let's be realistic. Fire prism? Probably not. But if you can keep a fire prism up for one more turn than it normally would, because, like, this is the thing, right? If my Tyran effects gets an angle on the fire prism, it's gone. It's gone. If my Exocrine gets an angle on a fire prism, there's hope. I think on average, let's see, d6 plus 3. So we're dealing with what? 7 wounding on, hitting on 3s. Let's say that yeah, hitting on 3s. Say that we don't have heavy or something. Hitting on 3s, wounding on 3s. Sorry, wounding on 4s. What am I talking about? Wounded on 4s. Yeah, the fire prism might live. It might live off of that, right? So if you give that just a 5 up, feel no pain, so that it can account for immortals too, you're probably in a better position. You just are in a better position. And then maybe do they get the reactive move? I forget on what the battle focus restrictions are, but then we're talking. But for right now, these need help. Swift deployment. Your movement phase, one Aeldari transport unit from your army. Until the end of phase, units can disembark from your transport after it has advanced. Units that do so count as having made a normal move that phase and cannot declare charge in the same turn, but can otherwise act normally. Most people would call this fine. I would say not compared to other things. And again, I understand you had to account for the absurd movement that you've given the Aeldari now. But I still look back at shit like Solar Spearhead for the Custodes, where, yeah, uh, they don't have a straight up stratagem that says, well, even the sisters and the Psychono Rhinos can do it. But you can take a Land Raider, put it through a wall, and your unit can charge out of that. So that's a bit much. Soul Sight. Your shooting phase. One Aeldari vehicle unit from your army that has not been selected to shoot this phase. You can reroll 1 hit, 1 wound roll, and 1 damage roll for a model in your unit. If you are using fast dice rolling, like I still don't understand why they put the rules here that we already have access to seeing. That's like, this is just the rule. This isn't an exception. I don't know why they did that. I mean, fine, I guess. 1 hit, 1 wound, 1 damage roll. This makes a bit more sense now. But again, for what? Right? Like, I hit on 3s, maybe, and I have 2 shots here on a fire prism. I guess it's better than needing your 1 CP reroll, but I guess I'll give them credit on Suicide. Vectored engines. Your movement phase just after an Aeldari vehicle unit from your army that can fly falls back. Until the end of phase, your unit is eligible to shoot in a turn in which it fell back. You're playing with vehicles. You probably have big guns never tire, but I guess it's good for something with blast. Alright, fine, you get credit there too. An anti-grav repulsion. Your opponent's charge phase just after an enemy unit has declared a charge. 1 vehicle unit from your army that can fly and was selected as a target of that charge, -2 to the charge. This still is like, probably would have been better if your opponent actually cared to charge your vehicles. Now, mind you, into certain armies where all they do is charge, that's fine, but like, I would have liked to see this be what the Drukhari have? Or am I imagining what Drukhari have? I would have liked this to be like your unit can hop into a vehicle if they are the target of a charge. That would have just been better. But yeah, Armored Warhost, I guess there's some salvageable things there, but I still don't think that this is worth anything. So yeah, if you like the video, like it. Got a comment for me, comment. And until next time, peace out, my monstrosities.